Hey everybody! So I've been doing some thinking and I really want to become a mech pilot. I mean, they're so cool with their lasers and their guns and their giant battle robots. So I recently signed up to become the United States government's #1 mech pilot. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? I waste billions of dollars of taxpayer money? Pfft, I mean, the United States government already does that. And hey, look! I already got their acceptance letter. Dear Lord Vernos, you are a big, dumb, doo-doo head, thick booty, poopy pants McGee. We don't have any intention of ever letting you pilot our new mech, Mr. McJiggle, that weighs 401 trillion of taxpayer dollars. Stick to playing stinky games. With love, Abraham Lincoln. Oop, there's more? P.S. Please come to my birthday party. The absolute baddies only show up when you arrive. Oh, man. That sucks. Well, okay. If I can't be a mech pilot in real life, I might as well try and play a game about mechs. And I got the perfect one. It's called Zardion. I don't know anything about this game. I literally just found it while retro game hunting a while back. And I think it's only fair we play it and see what it's all about. Zardion is all about 3 of the best pilots from 3 different worlds teaming up to stop an invading alien force. You have 3 mechs to freely switch between from. They're Triton, Euclides, and Panthera. You get thrown right into the action here as the pilots are trying to fight off an alien named Arms. This directly leads into the rest of the game where you're trying to find each individual alien force on each planet they're invading and stop them. And I have to say that I love how old school SNES games just jump right into the gameplay. For an early SNES game, it looks great. The colors absolutely pop, and combined with the sharp pixel art, it really looks clean even to this day. On top of that, I love how each of the mechs are designed. Triton is your standard anime style mech, Panthera is a panther based mech, and Alcides is what I can only assume is lobster themed? Each has their own style, and I really like how each one of them behaves both mechanically and visually. Triton can shoot in front and above him, Panthera is able to get into small areas and jump really far, and Alcides has the only melee attack, where he headbangs his antenna into the enemy. Man, Alcides would be a pro at riding the rail. Enemy designs in the game are also pretty good both visually and mechanically. Each level has a unique set of them which really helps separate the levels apart from each other. And on top of that, the enemies all attack slightly differently, meaning they're all mechanically different and visually different, and it's a really nice touch. What sets Zardion apart from other action platformers of the time has to be its XP system. Defeating enemies earns you experience points, shown in the top right, and every time you level up, you'll either get more health or a bigger ammo pool for special weapons. And after you hit a certain threshold, your basic attacks get better power too, so it's really important to actually start grinding out in certain levels if you intend to get further in the game. It is a good way to reward the aggressive play, but there is a big problem, and that's that it can feel a little redundant. Around level 5 or 6, I had enough health and ammo to just coast through most of the stages and levels in the game, at least until I got to the final gauntlet. Special weapons are also found in the game, and they really spice things up. Scattered throughout the levels are these pickups used to unlock new weapons for each mech. Each one drains a bit of ammo when used, but trust me, you want to use these. Triton's laser and shield are absolute lifesavers, while Euclides and Panthera have this enemy stunning ability, and both of them have invincibility shields, and these are crucial in later levels. And even though they chew through your ammo gauge like it's snack time, I found myself using these as much as possible. However, if you do tend to run low on health or ammo, you do have items to restore them. You'll be finding things like health containers, ammo refills, and missiles all scattered throughout the world. When you collect them, you can actually choose to select them in an inventory for a quick press on the controller. And this allows you to restore your stuff or shoot missiles out to clear off the screen. Honestly, I leaned heavily into the health and ammo pickups, as they're the real MVPs when things get hectic, and they're kind of the most useful items in the entire game. As for the planets themselves, they're good. Some of my favorites include the second half of the Ocean Sphere and Fiera's opening. Ocean Sphere is just a really fun beach-themed level. You can either run above the water or under the water. Each path has challenges in its own way. Whether you're fighting sea creatures or trying to dodge turrets, it's really fun, and it's nice to see a water level that doesn't completely suck, especially in an older game. The take-home level for me that's super fun has to be the Fiera's opening. It's super thrilling thanks to the use of scale. As a mech, you use buildings as platforms to jump on, and all the other machines are smaller than you except for a few giant tanks and helicopters. And one of the most notable fun things has to be the soldiers fighting in the whole world. They're super tiny, and they jump from parachutes onto the ground and try to fight you. However, they don't really deal nearly as much damage, and you can walk right over them.
Yes, run from me, puny invading forces, run!
Each world has such a great atmosphere, and I love that each one has a different focus aesthetic. Much like other platformers of the time, each level in Zardion also uses bosses to cap off each level. You'll be taking on giant aliens like Arms, a water-based goo monster, war machines like the spaceship, and then this weird floating clown-looking guy. They're all visually varied, and it is nice to see them be different from boss to boss. One of the big issues with Zardion's bosses, though, has to be their inconsistency in difficulty. You have some like the spaceship that are constantly firing at you in hard to dodge patterns, that clown looking thing I just mentioned that can be quite troublesome to face off against, or this little crab dude who sends his minions to fight in between his daily scheduled arm swinging.
I'm gonna get you. I'm gonna get you.
And then you have these bosses like the big blob monster. It pretty much just lets you stand there and shoot at him without never ever having to move. I definitely found that it's easy to level up far beyond what other bosses need as well. Oftentimes, I wasn't even trying to overlevel, and I found myself being miles ahead of the boss. And when you consider that you can just swap between mechs once your health is low, or just use a health pack, it can make some of the bosses feel way too easy, or way too monotonous and not needed. It is the one small flaw of Zardion that I wish they spent more time on developing. Everything changes when we get to the final planet, the home of the invaders. Upon arrival, we find out the planet to be made entirely of monsters and have to dive underground for safety. When we get here, it turns out the whole planet is made of organs and flesh. As we dive deeper, we have to fight this amalgamation of human heads mounted to a wall. And once we defeat it, we then have to escape from a wave of acid, only for Panthera to be consumed and killed by it. This leads us and the rest of the gang to find a cave where we finally discover the legendary mech, Zardion. This giant mech is so powerful, it can end this hostile planet once and for all. Hey, wait, Zardion sucks. Like, he's level 1, can't use any of his big ultimates, and most importantly, he walks around like he's on the runway. It turns out that in order to beat the game, we have to unlock Zardion's ultimate ability. That causes you to have to backtrack to each world to find 3 missing pieces of his body. While the first one is cool, thanks to the fact you can fight a hidden boss, and that it'll immediately help level up Zardion to at least level 5, the other ones kinda suck. The one Hollow Sphere is just at the end of the level, not even hidden. And the final piece is just down a hole right to the left of the opening. It's cool that they wanted us to upgrade Zardion, but outside of the hidden boss, the other missing parts aren't that well hidden, and they don't make me feel like I'm discovering anything new in the world. However, it is at least nice that when you backtrack, it gives you time to level up Zardion. Once we get Zardion's special move, it's all time to end the invaders once and for all. The last level has us run through a maze while trying to find the exit. The enemies here are tough, but they're nothing we can't handle at this point. The real challenge comes in trying to survive and find the right exit before finding the final boss. Once you do find the final boss, it turns out it's a mech, just like us. Only it's made of flesh and monsters. And this boss has 5 whole phases, and he is hard as hell. And I had to painstakingly grind Zardion to the max level of 12, and then farm as many health pickups as possible just to stand a chance. The boss fight itself has different levels of difficulty. The first phase is pretty easy, as you just have to shoot at him and jump over him every now and then. Phases 2 and 3 ramp up the difficulty with shots that are really punishing. And then you have phase 4, which is absolute bullshit. And finally you have phase 5, when the mech transforms into his ultimate form. A rejected Final Fantasy villain. It's here that you're going to want to spam your ultimate abilities, because if you don't, you will run out of health and healing items before ever getting him anywhere near half health. He's a pretty big challenge, and I found myself having to retry against him a few times. Even at this final stage, I kept losing and had to continuously retry. But once you beat him, the mech pulls out his ultimate move. A shrine to a woman. It turns out the whole war started because of an AI that runs the invaders' homeworld. The AI was given an order not to let anything happen to the last humans on their world. When the last human woman died, they didn't know how to interpret their orders and started to wipe out all life they could find, as that's the only way they could complete their logic. When you destroy the big mech, it destroys the whole AI running this entire planet, causing it all to collapse. This means that the pirates have to try a daring escape while leaving Zardion behind. After a quick cutscene, we learn that 200 years after, the planet of the invaders is shown to be lifeless, except for a single giant tree growing around Zardion. The end. What did I think of Zardion? Well, it's clear that Zardion has some mistakes in its design. Low difficulty at some points to immediate bullshit difficulty right after. There are some absolutely broken abilities. Looking at you, Panthera Invincibility. And on top of that, the leveling system can feel redundant, as it's a cool idea, but it's not fully fleshed out where it feels really well integrated into the game at times. Feels more tacked on there. But the amount of fun that I had far outweighed the problems. The game looks great even to this day, and the fact that you get 3 different mechs to play as is awesome, and they all fill a particular niche that makes them stand out. On top of that, exploration is the best key to getting all of the best gear, as if you don't explore, you'll be stuck with barely anything. And the levels are really fun to play through. They're all unique and they all have different kinds of colors and variety to them. And on top of that, the bosses are all creative and enjoyable. And most importantly, the most important thing you have to realize, you get to pilot gigantic mechs. How can you be upset at that?